Most people are waiting for awakening to feel like lightning. Like the heavens open up, angels sing, and suddenly you just know. But what if I told you awakening doesn't announce itself like that? What if it's quieter, deeper, and far more potential than anything you've ever imagined? Stay with me because today we are going all the way in. Now, welcome back, family, to True Awakening channel with myself, Tabang. And if you're new here, welcome home. This is a space where we don't do surface level, we go deep. Today's topic has been on my heart for a long time, awakening. Let's dive deep into the awakening. Not the buzzword, not the Instagram version with crystals and sunrises photos. I'm talking about real awakening, the kind that changes who you are at the core, the kind that you cannot undo once it begins. Let's get into it. The sleeping life. Before we can talk about awakening, I want us to be honest about what it means to be asleep, because a lot of people sleep on themselves every day, every time, and I'm not talking about closing your eyes at night when you're going to sleep. No. I'm talking about walking through your life on the autopilot, walking through your life on that autopilot whereby you are blind to who you truly are, doing what you were told to do ever since you were born. You know what I mean? Wanting what society said you should have, and wanting what you see people wanting, feeling what you were conditioned to feel the minute you were young, and the worst part, not allowing yourself to feel anything at all. Most of us are asleep and we don't even know it. We wake up, check the phone, reach, rush, scroll, compare, consume, sleep, and we repeat that process. We are busy, incredibly busy, but we are not awake. We are not awake at all. And there's a difference between being busy, and I want you to sit with this. There's a difference between being busy and being present. There's a difference between being alive and actually living. When last did you do something, just one thing, that was completely authentically you? Think about it. Not for likes, not for approvals, just you. That pause you just felt, that slight discomfort, that right there is the first crack of awakening. The moment the light gets in, and this is what awakening literally really is. So what is really awakening? You might ask yourself that question. Awakening is the moment you realize you are not your thoughts. Awakening is the moment you realize you are not your name. Awakening is the moment you realize you are not this flesh that you think you are. You are actually bigger than this. That's when awakening comes in. When you realize you are not the flesh, and you don't put yourself, or you don't identify yourself with the flesh. It's when you have the real identity of who you truly are. Let that land. You are not the voice in your head that criticizes you every morning. You are not the fear that tells you to stay small. You are not the story you've been telling yourself since childhood. You are the one watching all of that. You are the awareness of all of that. The ancient teachings, from African wisdom traditions to Eastern philosophy to the mystics of the Abrahamic faiths, they all pointed to the same thing. There is a deeper self underneath the noise, a self that is still aware and whole. So, awakening is remembering the self. One, you stop reaching and start responding. Life stops happening to you. You start happening to life. Two, relationships transform. You stop looking for people to complete you and start connecting soul to soul. Because you are no longer walking around with a hole inside that needs to be filled. That hole that needs to be filled of wanting to really understand who you are, you're no longer walking around with that. 3, fear loses its grip. You no longer have fear, a fear of death. You no longer have a fear of death. Not because life becomes easy, but because you understand that you are bigger than any circumstances you face. 4, you find purpose. Not the kind the world gives you, the kind that was placed inside you before you were even born. This is what I mean when I say true awakening. This is the real awakening. Now, here's the part nobody wants to hear. Awakening isn't comfortable at all. In fact, the process of awakening often feels like falling apart, like everything you thought was solid is suddenly shifting beneath your feet. Old friendships change. Things that used to satisfy you no longer do. You start asking questions that don't have easy answers. And sometimes in the middle of that, you feel incredibly alone. That's not a sign you are doing it wrong. Because awakening requires you to let go of the false self, the persona you build to survive, to be liked, to belong, and that shedding hurts. But on the other side of that pain is a freedom you cannot imagine from where you were standing right now. Here's what the path looks like for most people. Something shakes you, a loss, a heartbreak, a moment of profound emptiness. Life gets your attention. You start asking why. Why am I here? What do I really believe? Who am I when no one is watching? You begin to find silence, whether that's meditation, prayer, time in nature, journaling. You create space for the deeper voice you speak. This is where the real work happens. You don't have spiritual experiences and say the same. You bring the insight into how you live, how you treat people, how you treat yourself. You begin to operate from a larger sense of self. Compassion deepens. Your presence becomes a gift to others. This is the journey, and this is not a straight line. You'll spiral back to your old self. You'll have dark nights, but every time you return to yourself, that's awakening. And If you're watching this and you are in the thick of right now, if life feels like it's unrevealing and you are not sure who you are anymore, I want to speak directly to you. You are not losing your mind. You are finding your soul. The confusion is not a crisis, it is a calling. You are being invited to go deeper than you've ever gone. And yes, it's terrifying, I know. And yes, it requires courage, but you have more of that than you know. In the Sotho tradition, we say, "Moto ke moto ka batho." You gotta know what that means. Meaning, a person is a person through other people. But I want to add this. You can only truly connect with others when you are first connected with yourself. Your awakening doesn't just change you, it changes everyone around you. It triples outward in ways you may never fully see. So don't rush it, don't perform it, don't compare your awakening to someone else's highlights reel. Trust the process, trust the pain, trust the peace that comes in the quiet moments. You are awakening up. And that is the most important thing you will ever do. Awakening. So, family, true awakening family. That's what I want to leave you with today. Awakening isn't a destination, it's a direction. Every single day you choose continuously to be a little more awake, a little more honest, a little more present. That's the practice, that's the path. If this landed for you today, I want you to do 3 things for me. 1, share this with someone who needs it. You never know who's ready to wake up. 2, leave a comment. Tell me where you were in your awakening journey. I read every single one. Excuse me. 3, subscribe. If you haven't yet, join this community of people who are choosing to live awake. I'm Tabang. This is True Awakening Channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay true, stay awakened.